Excadrill should be able to farm down here. The Melmetal's not even throwing moves. It's a bit in shock right there. Able to farm down with the Dragon Breath, that super stanky breath of the dragon. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Divi Pratap Singh, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're shoutcasting a set of battles in the Master League Classic. These battles were submitted to the channel by Raymar300, and they consist of a team with a Dragonite lead, Excadrill, and Mewtwo in the back. So this does look like a pretty solid team with some decent coverage overall, and I'm very excited to see how Excadrill performs in this meta. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so jumping into these battles, we are leading Dragonite here with a Mewtwo safe switch, Excadrill in the back. Hopping into match number 1, we got Mishkin7 leading the Dragonite. It's actually a Shundo Dragonite, so that's a huge flex. We see a Dialga on the opponent's side. Pretty bad matchup for Dragonite, so would expect the safe switch into Mewtwo here, and met by a Giratina Origin, so not a great matchup here for Mewtwo. And one of the first things I noticed about this Mewtwo here, it is purified. I know it's going to trigger a lot of people in the comments section, but hey, it is what it is. If it gets to a hundo, people are free to do what they like, and I think it's totally fine to purify the Mewtwo, especially since you get more than one anyways. Not really a big deal. Come back in here with the Dragonite to farm down the Giratina. It's very likely to get to a move before you farm down, but it's only going to be an Omnis Wind, so there is no need to shield up the Dragonite here. Is able to farm down, banks a lot of energy, and going to swap out into the Excadrill. Had to wait a little bit there because the switch timer was not done yet, so the Togekiss comes in here. So what this tells us is that the opponent is obviously very weak to Excadrill in the back with the Dialga and the Togekiss here. So Togekiss is beginning to shield here. The Excadrill should be able to get to enough moves to take out this Togekiss because it does have 2 shields. However, the Togekiss did get a slight energy lead because the Dragonite was stuck in that matchup. So not the best situation to be in here, but let's see how they play this out. Going for the Rock Slide once again, and going to overfarm a little bit more before throwing this next Rock Slide. Don't believe one is enough to knock out the Togekiss here, so they should get off one more move here. This Excadrill is getting extremely low, and at this point you need to shield because the Dragonite can't really finish off the Togekiss right here. So Ancient Power comes through, the opponent swaps out into Dialga, and Dragonite is going to get to the Draco Meteor. Is this going to be enough to take out the Dialga right here? Bang! No, it's not. But look at this, because the attack dropped on the Dragonite, that means the Excadrill gets to get a little bit of farm on the Dialga, which gets it to the Rock Slide, which is going to be enough to take out the Togekiss. So everything worked out perfectly in that match. Excadrill showing its worth in this meta. A lot of times you're going to run into teams that are double weak to Excadrill in the back. I know I do that often myself. So Excadrill is definitely a very strong Pokemon. Despite its very tiny size, it is a very underrated pick. Dragonite here into Melmetal, another horrible lead. So they safe switch into Mewtwo. Opponents staying in this match, but they try to catch the Focus Blast onto the Lugia. Very nice play from the opponent. Thankfully for us, it is only a Psystrike right here and not the Focus Blast. So still a horrible matchup for Mewtwo, of course. And we have been seeing a lot more people begin to run Ice Beam on their Mewtwo's in the place of Focus Blast now. It does provide a lot of coverage for these flying types, the dragon types, even the ground types. It is a very strong moveset to consider in the current state of the meta. So the opponent here gonna throw a move, and the Mewtwo is going to shield this up. Now, if they get to another move before the Mewtwo, oof, yeah, that's a little rough here. And going to burn the second shield, oh man. That's gonna make things difficult here. And the opponent swaps out into Melmetal. Very nice swap there into the Excadrill to catch this Rock Slide there, preserve the health on the Mewtwo. The main issue here is that the Excadrill is actually going to end up losing this match now because they are down 2 shields. Should survive one superpower here, get off a drill run, but then again, not even going to be able to get off both shields from the Melmetal here. So pretty tricky spot at this point, and doesn't really have a great answer for that Melmetal in the back anyways. Thankfully, this is CMP tie here, so the Melmetal should be drawing energy, but they do go for the Rock Slide, which is a very nice play. And I think at this point, the win con, you have to go for the Focus Blast, I think. It's pretty much the only way to win this match. I believe you might even still lose, but they go for the Psystrike, and there is the no shield. So Focus Blast would have taken out that Melmetal right there, and it's a Dragonite in the back. It's actually a Shadow Dragonite, and perhaps Dragonite could have finished this game off. It could have survived maybe one Dragon Claw. I mean, it would have still been a very close game, and it would have been very difficult to take care of that Lugia in the back, but maybe the Mewtwo could build up to another Psystrike. I think the win con here was probably to go for the Focus Blast on the Lugia, because at this point here, you go for the Dragon Claw on the Melmetal, but they could let this go down here, come back in with the Lugia basically, farm down the Dragonite, and not getting to that Dragon Claw is also pretty unlucky. So Mewtwo needs to get to a Psystrike because the Lugia still has a shield, needs to get to 2 Psystrikes actually, so that's not going to happen. Back out of that matchup, off to a 1-1 start. Let's hop into the next battle right here. And we got a Dragonite lead into a Groudon, so this is a good lead unless the Groudon's running Dragon Tail. And look at this, it is in fact Dragon Tail, and Dragon Tail flips this matchup completely. Dragonite basically needs to land the Draco Meteor in the 0 shields in order to win this match. When they're going for Dragon Claw, it's not going to happen. And the Groudon could basically just go straight Fire Punch here. I think at this point, you have to let the Dragonite go down here. I don't really agree with the shield because that's going to allow the Groudon to get more farm. And then if you do come in with, they're going to shield this obviously, of course. Then if you come in with the Mewtwo to get farm, the Groudon, because it's able to get some farm here, might be able to get to an Earthquake before you could farm down. I mean, it's probably going to get to the Earthquake anyways, but you'd have 2 shields if you let the Dragonite go down here. So you have to take the Earthquake here, which is a huge call, and comes in with the Excadrill looking to farm down. Opponent brings in a Melmetal, which isn't the best answer for Excadrill, of course, especially with Excadrill having a huge energy lead. And this right here, I think, sort of tells you what Excadrill is capable of in this meta. A lot of people really do not prepare for it, and this opponent probably super weak to Excadrill. I would not even be surprised to see Melmetal plus Dialga here, a double steel line in the back, and Excadrill is basically going to sweep. Calls the Rock Slide bait. Love that play right there because I don't think Superpower would KO from that range. Maybe it would actually, so that was a very risky play, but they do call the Superpower right now. Excadrill should be able to farm down here. The Melmetal is not even throwing moves. It's a bit in shock right there of what is happening. Opponent doesn't want the smoke. Backs out of the matchup right there. Not even a celebration from the avatar. They're like, that's easy. Excadrill, dust those shoulders. Too easy for the little mole. This thing is tiny, but it hits super hard. Dragonite into Giratina Origin right here. Great lead, especially if they are running Shadow Claw. Opponent swaps out into Dialga. Here comes the Excadrill. And a lot of times these teams, they might try to lure out the hard counter for Dialga, have another steel type in the back maybe, like a Melmetal for example. So let's see how this plays out. This could be a Draco Meteor, and Draco Meteor does a lot of damage, about 75% to the Excadrill, so they are going to shield that up, and they are able to farm down. So even though they're down to shield, they are loaded up on energy here on the Excadrill, and drill runs do still hurt against Giratina Origin right here. So should be able to get off 2 drill runs here, which is going to put this Giratina very low and in farm down range for the Dragonite. And this game is basically going to come down to what the opponent has left in the back. So probably going to throw an Omnis Wind at this point. That should be enough to take out the Excadrill here. Yeah, then come in with the Dragonite. Opponent's probably going to stop it immediately, which they do. Melmetal, and we see the Mewtwo come in. So like I said earlier, the Dialga comes out to draw out the hard counter in Excadrill, clearing the way for the Melmetal in the back. So another double steel line right there with Giratina lead. Goes for the Psystrike, misses a couple of bubbles, which could prove to be a difference in this matchup. Melmetal going for the Rock Slide right here. Not an easy matchup to come out of here. Down shields against Melmetal. Melmetal will basically win this matchup in the 2 shields. So going for the Rock Slide right here. And just going straight Psystrike here, should be able to get off 2. The Melmetal is going to have to start shielding at this point, are building up to the Focus Blast. So Psystrike comes through. Probably going to shield up this next Psystrike as well because their Giratina is basically done. So Melmetal is their only chance of winning right here. Psystrike comes through. Dragonite's going to come in, has a shield, could also survive 1 Rock Slide. So this game is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Probably shield this first Rock Slide right here. And the opponent might even try to swap out here at some point. So Rock Slide not going to KO. They may try to catch the potential Dragon Claw onto the Giratina. They do. Gonna get farmed down, holding off on the energy right there. Opponent doesn't want the smoke. Backs out of the match. Very well played. That sort of sack swap is definitely a risky play at that point in the matchup. It either goes big or you go home. It's one or the other. In this case, a great read by this trainer, and we see a Landorus Incarnate form here in the next matchup. So a pretty neutral matchup in general. Dragonite can win this with shields, I assume, so Rock Slide comes through. Dragonite, they swap out into Dialga, so here comes the Excadrill. Very solid matchup right here. And going to throw the Drill Run. This likely won't be enough to KO, and let's see if the Dialga gets to a move right here. Drill Run comes through, and one Mud Shot gets it down, so didn't even have to take a charge move at that point, so very nicely done. And we see the Landorus come in here. So I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide here. Best case scenario, get it off 2, and a little bit of lag right there. That lag may affect the ability to get to this second Rock Slide before the Landorus right here. See, they do get to the Rock Slide, but I think if it was not for the lag, probably would have got this Rock Slide out first, which could have gotten a shield from the opponent. Instead, gonna come with Dragonite here. Should be dry on energy for the most part, the Landorus, but gonna throw the Dragon Claw anyways here. Doesn't want to take a potential Rock Slide. They let that go through. It's Yveltal in the back. So this game is far from over. Yveltal, one of the hardest counters for Mewtwo at this point. I mean, it probably is the #1 counter for Mewtwo. And going to go for the Psystrike bait right here. Of course, could be an Ice Beam, could be a Focus Blast, so probably going to see a shield here. The opponent does shield, and now the Mewtwo building up for the Focus Blast. They're going right for it right here. Are they gonna land the big nuke move right here? Bang! There it is, Yveltal catching the I don't even know what they caught there. They caught the smoke basically. But Yveltal gonna KO here. Dragonite at this point comes in. Farm down with the Dragon Breath. Have to save that shield for this. Don't want to shield the Mewtwo there. That's for sure. So Dragonite comes in, shields the Dark Pulse, able to farm down with the Dragon Breath. That super stanky breath of the dragon. Takes that game 4-1 set. Excadrill looking very strong. Solid team overall. Thank you for the submission. So those were the battles featuring Dragonite lead, Mewtwo safe switch, and Excadrill in the back. Once again, a big shout out to Raymar300 for submitting these battles. Had a lot of fun covering them, and I really enjoy seeing Excadrill put in the work. It's such a small Pokemon, but it really hits hard. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.